Today, we are talking about the pound selling off from that 1.2685 level that I talked about over the weekend. So I'm going to share my thoughts on this pair, if it has lower to go, some key levels to watch, and my targets, and also the latest on the DXY. Now, before we get into this, guys, if you do want my help with your trading, including seeing my trades in real time, including one here on the pound that I shared a few weeks ago that is in profit by 150 pips. If you want to see that, if you want to get daily videos, my help with your trading, exclusive setups, etc., then click on the link at the top of this video, and that's going to give you 90% off lifetime access to the VIP trading course and also the real-time group in Discord. All right, so if you want to take your trading to the next level, then be sure to join us there. Alternatively, you can click on the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link. Okay, so looking at the pound here, we are seeing the market rotate lower from 126.85, which if you guys saw the recent weekly forecast, what we talked about was the fact that the pound did close last week below 1.2685. So that meant that this area up here became resistance, which you can see that even though we had a few weeks above this, the market never actually closed a day above 126.85. And this is why I love the daily time frame, because it really tells you that the market never actually flipped this to new support. Okay, so this down here could have become a fake out, but it didn't. Instead, 126.85 held up as resistance, and we are seeing the market move lower today. Now, as you guys know, I am still short here from up here in this area. I did have my stop up here, so I was still in on this candle. Again, I shared this in real time with VIP members, including my stop loss and also take profit. Okay, so 150 pips in profit on that one. And I do still think that this market has lower to go. Now, when we talk about the weekly time frame, which we've talked about a lot here on this channel and website, what you can see here is that ever since 2021, we've got this trend line off of these highs. And we've also got this trend line down here from actually late 2022 is where this extends from off of that high. And we've got several lows down here in this area. So this pattern right here, this is why we've seen a lot of these major currency pairs just going sideways here over the past year and a half. This is also why I think that we are likely to see some very aggressive trends develop for these major currency pairs over the next few months. But it's important to understand that right now we are just dealing with range-bound conditions. So this is exactly why I was telling you guys when the pound was back here, okay, around 1.28, even though it was very choppy through here, this is why I was saying that I was looking for shorts up here, just because this is what we've seen from this market over the past year and a half. It has been a very range-bound market, and so that's how I'm trading it. All right, now as for key levels, we are looking at 1.2560. This is going to be the next critical support here for this market. And what you'll notice too is that we do have, if you look at this as an area, we do have several lows back here as well. So really, in my opinion, this entire area through here is going to be a key support area for the pound. This is going to be a very significant area. And the reason this is an area is because you can see here, we've got these closing prices closer to 125.60. But at the same time, though, we've got these lows that are just below that mark. Okay, so this entire area is going to be support for the pound. And the closer that the market gets to this area, the less favorable any kind of shorts become. And in my opinion, you don't want to be shorting right through here. If you were looking for shorts, this was the place to do it. Of course, if you could have gotten it up here, right, that's even better. But 126.85, this is really kind of, in my opinion, the last place to look for shorts here before we potentially see a retest down here in this area. Okay, so I do think that a bounce from this region is likely, just given the significance of this going all the way back here to late 2023. Now, when we talk about this larger pattern here for the pound, okay, this consolidation that we're seeing, this is likely to produce a very aggressive trend over the coming months. And the reason I say that is because this is a terminal pattern. Notice how these two levels come together at some point in the future. Okay, this is terminal, meaning that it has to end. And it also means that the pound is going to have to decide, does it break higher, okay, or does it break lower over the coming months? And in my opinion, okay, there are no guarantees, of course, but in my opinion, we are likely to see a break down from this, right, over the coming months versus a break higher. And the reason for that has to do with what's going on with the US dollar, okay, the DXY. Now, at the same time, though, you can see where the DXY has a lot of room to run toward 109 to 110, but at the same time, the pound also has quite a bit of room before this 1.24 area, which, by the way, is my target for this swing trade. Okay, but I do think when you look at the US dollar index, this is the weekly time frame, and we've talked about this pattern a lot here on this channel and website. where ever since the start of 2023, this is what we've seen from the DXY, okay, trading within this massive channel. So if this pattern completes, then we are likely to see the DXY trend up here toward 109 to 110. Now, those of you who are familiar with imbalances in the market and liquidity, this candle back here should stand out. Okay, this should stick out like a sore thumb just because if you'll notice here, this was a massive red candle. This is the largest weekly candle that you see on this chart. And what you'll notice is that we got a very shallow retrace following that candle. So what this means is that there's an imbalance up here around 109 to 110. Also, look, this is a pivot through here. Okay, so we've got a pivot right here around 109 to 110. We've also got this weekly imbalance. So this, in my opinion, over the coming weeks is likely to be a magnet for the DXY. This is what I've talked about for the last few weeks and months. And in fact, I've mentioned this for over a year now, that I thought we would likely see eventually a move back there toward 109 to 110. So for this very reason, I do think that the next move, okay, the next big move for pairs like the pound and even the euro are likely to be lower rather than higher. Now, of course, like I said, that could change, right? This is going to be level by level, but I do think that something like this, here over the coming months, right? A bounce from here, get a move down toward this area, bounce from there, and then potentially a breakdown. I think something like that is more likely here over the coming months than getting a bullish breakout. I could be wrong on that. This is going to be a level by level basis, so it is going to change depending on what this market is doing around these key levels. But I do think that a breakdown here is more likely, just given what we're seeing here from the DXY. Okay, and by the way, when we look at the DXY here on the daily chart, this is what we talked about yesterday during that Euro USD analysis. Okay, so these highs back here, what you're going to notice is that we did get a fake out down here that we've talked about at length. This was bullish for the DXY because a fake out to one side of a pattern typically produces an extended move in the opposite direction. So for the DXY, that was a move higher, which is exactly what we're seeing. Now, in that video yesterday, what I told you guys was that the market was technically holding above this key support area. So as long as it's above this, I was looking for a move back here toward these highs right around 106.5. And so far, the DXY is halfway there. Okay, so this is going to be resistance, in the same way that this area down here is going to be support for the pound. Okay, so notice how these two things line up, right? We've got this area down here right around 125.50, let's call it. And looking at the DXY, we have this area up around 106.50. So in my opinion, we are likely to see the market test this, maybe sweep these highs, okay, maybe sweep up here and then get a pullback, right? And at the same time, we are likely to see a bounce from the pound from this 125.50 area. Now, with that in mind, though, I still think, even though we're going to see a bounce there, or likely to see a bounce from 1.255, I do think that this area around 1.24 is kind of the likely scenario here over the coming weeks. Same thing for the DXY. Okay, if we do get a sell-off from this area, it is likely, in my opinion, to be temporary. Even if we see a move all the way back here, right, it's likely to be temporary, maybe some consolidation, and then we get a breakout. All right, I think that this is more likely for the DXY here over the coming weeks to see a pullback from 106.50, some weakness there, and kind of reset and then continue the trend over the coming weeks. All right, so as always, just my opinion, guys. This could change depending on what markets do here, but I do like the pound lower as long as it's below 1.2685. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for notifications. Don't forget to join us in VIP. See the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that Join VIP link to get lifetime access to the trading group and also the course. Trade well out there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.